contemplate for a while. Don't you think it's for the people the best? If I pack my stuff and leave sooner than this. Don't you think it's for the people the best? If I pack my stuff and leave sooner than this. Don't you wish I would have been someone else? I wanna feel your gap without making a mess out of you. Or won't you tell me something new? Wish you all the best I can, then I stop myself for a while.
You held your hand in mine all the way. Ask if I may join the night. It's okay. No, I can't say I don't like it. Can't say I don't mind. But somehow I always end up here. I'm stuck, I'm 6 feet under. Everybody wants to say that it's only a dream. Yeah, everybody wants to say that it's nothing for me. Everybody wants to say that it's only a dream. Yeah, everybody wants to say, but it's nothing, nothing for me. The night just goes on and on. You're in the mood. I stare at my feet and smile, acting confused. No, I can't say I don't like it. Can't say I don't mind. But somehow I always end up here. I'm stuck, I'm 6 feet under. Everybody wants to say that it's only a dream. Yeah, everybody wants to say, but it's nothing, nothing for me. The way you look at me, how you touch my head, makes me wanna run back home to my bed. Try to stay calm, but my palms are wet. I need another drink, need a break from my sun. Everybody wants to say that it's only a dream. Yeah, everybody wants to say, but it's nothing for me. Everybody wants to say that it's only a dream. Yeah, everybody wants to say that it's nothing for me.
I see something, it's coming up on the horizon. Oh, let me clear my head and get rid of the distractions. Oh, I was done, I was down when I saw you in the clouds. Out of phase, filled with doubt. I was drifting in and out, levitate, fade away. I had left full time and space, but you just caught my eye. Hey, nah, 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 nah. Please won't you come over? Let me get to know ya. Hey, nah, 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 nah. Delve into emotion, leave us in this moment. let me get to know ya. Hey, nah, 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 nah. Delve into emotion, leave us in this moment.
Don't you say it, I can't hear it. I get defensive when I think you're calling me out. But I don't scream, I don't shout. I seethe in my anger, I swallow my answer.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of TechCondo Live. It is, of course, Saturday evening at 7 p.m. Central European Time. And that's when we all geek out and do some really cool stuff. And today is not going to be different. We're going to do something really cool, which is learning on the job like we sometimes do over here at the show. And that's that we're going to use a Streamdeck Plus that I actually just got. And here it is, the box. And we're going to connect that to central control because the current Streamdeck software does not work with vMix. What we're going to do is that we're going to hook up vMix. We're going to hook up even H2R graphics. And also, I actually added the A10 Mini right there just for the sake of it, because maybe it's also possible to connect with that. Well, we're not going to really demo the whole thing from a perspective of showing the A10, but let's see how far we can get today. In all fairness, I have been doing some checks around so that I have a gut feeling on what the possibilities are. But I do invite you to be part of this setup. Please provide me some insights on what you want to see, and we'll figure that out as we go. Before I show you, before I go into the setup that I have right in front of me. By the way, I might be a little bit sweaty at the moment because it's 30 degrees Celsius right here, and it's also about 27 degrees Celsius in my condo, so it's quite hot. I do have a nice ventilation going on right there, but it's definitely not going to be enough. So maybe you hear some fan noise in it, but that is totally okay. All right, let me see who is in the house. I see a lot of people are in the house today, so that's good. MT is in the house and fresh cooked and waiting, and I hope that you're not meaning that you yourself are cooked, but I am definitely a little bit cooked today. So that is cool. I also see that DJ Ware is in the house. Welcome, Petra MT, but those are not the only people that are here live. Also, Roel is in the house. Good morning, he says. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Gerard is also in the house. Oh, wait a second, wrong one. Hello from Stuttgart. Welcome, and awesome that you are here. Eric is in the house. Welcome from Rochester, New York. Coughing less from Forest Forest. Now, thank goodness. Indeed, there are some Canadian wildfires going on. I did see some pictures from the Rochester area and the New York area, and it looked quite yellowish out there. So good that it's getting a little bit better there. Eric says, hoping rain is coming to Quebec and New Brunswick. Rain in forecast at least for next week. Nice. MT says, indeed, actually 29 degrees Celsius, 81 Fahrenheit, and we're going on for the next days and down to 24 Celsius. Yeah, it's roughly the same over here, MT. It's quite a change of scenery, so to speak. like that, boom, it's warm. Connect all the things. Yeah, that's the way that we're gonna roll today. Welcome, Sergio. Welcome from Brazil. Let me think. Doing a little bit. Tudo bem. That's how are you? And hey, Leonardo, Petra, and chat. Indeed, welcome, guys. Appreciate you for being here live and direct. If during the show you have any questions or remarks or whatever, please let me know, because like I said, it's also doing it together. I like the learning process. So what I'm going to do is that I will be providing you this screen right here. I will be going back and forth between a small screen and a big screen so that you guys could see me. But wait, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change that. Why not? So let's do that together. Let me add a layer to this screen quickly, and make that, zoom that a little bit like so. Crop here and here, and then just move it to a side so that at least you guys can see me when I'm working. All right. So this is roughly what you're gonna that you can see. I will make sure that you will see the whole screen the full time, but this is where we're gonna start. We're gonna start, of course, with the application. But before I do that, wait a second. I almost forgot about it. How can I? I have to show you my setup first. So let's go into the NDI system, NDI camera, because everything here in the studio is NDI based. So that's the reason why the ATEM is not really used at the moment in the studio. But nevertheless, I am using this tool also with ATEMs during live shows. So that's the reason why I'm still interested in using this. I am going to show you my screen, but I will remove my audio. And this is what I'm looking at, guys. So this is roughly my setup. My microphone right here. I've got the Go XLR right there. That is where you can hear me. This is for the comments. So you guys are on the MacBook Air. And this is the production that I'm looking at. And this is roughly what I'm looking at here. For some reason this is not working. I'll check that later. But this is the Elgato Streamdeck, as you can see. As you can see right here, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 buttons. Also, this strip is also a button, and then we've got all those rotaries that we can use to get things organized. And let's see how far we can get it today in the show. It might be that when I'm putting the phone near to the microphone that you heard some background noise. I regret that, obviously. So then you know a little bit what I see for some reason, and I'm pretty much sure that I can find out what that is. It's not popping up the audio for some reason. But that's okay. We'll figure that out. Anywho, that's not what we're here for today. But there are some people again. Source of, or Jenny, I mean, welcome. Appreciate you for taking the time and effort here on your Saturday or your Saturday morning. Thanks for the warm welcome. Yeah, well, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. And here's the cold, and I'm having a tea with my samovar. I don't know what that is. Sorry. Anyway, let's go and start the show without further ado. Oh, of course, stupid me. There you go. Right there. Okay, let's start. So the first thing that we need to do is that we need to open up Central Control, and that's just an application which is on a separate screen, but don't worry, it will be popping up in just a bit on the screen that you have in front of you. This is the Central Control setup that we're going to use for today. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a few things that I want to do today. Let's start very simple and straightforward and increase in complexity as we go so that all people are aligned and know what we are going to do. So Central Control is a application. We have a very nice video from 2 weeks ago where we talked to Joe DeMax, who is the owner and also the programmer of Central Control. And I believe he's doing that also with Ollie. It's a very, very interesting setup, and I also really love how it looks, the ease of it, and but we still need to do quite some work. So it's all fresh. This is right out of the box. I just installed it, and I put in the license. So this is indeed the full top-notch situation. You will see as we go if you need a different model than the basic. So let me just start with that to make sure that everybody is aligned on what we're talking about. So if you go to centralcontrol.io, you can here buy Central Control. So it is not for free, and you either have the intro version, which is not $80. You got the $150 version for the Pro, which adds a few additional functionalities like triggers, Pro devices, as Superstores animation, for example. So there are quite some additional topics there, and the Elite is, of course, the major system. Yeah, like always, I try to give you the full how-to guide. Hence, I do have the Elite version right in front of me. But let's go nevertheless and talk a little bit about what we see. So on the left-hand side, we see the way to add devices. And these devices can either be real hardware devices like the ATEM switcher or software like vMix. But it can also be This is also a device, can also be an internal feature of Central Control itself. So that is what we're going to talk about today. So this is where you add the device. This is where you see a bit of a, let's say, a help text. And also if there are any parameters that we need to set over there, you will find that here as well. This is all about logging. If there's any issue for connecting, or maybe there's software that is not available on your computer or whatever, then you see that right here. Then you can set your project here. I just basically use this standard project, but I can imagine that I will be somebody that will need multiple projects because, of course, I have a big setup with, for example, the 2OME switcher. I also have a smaller setup with, for example, the Extreme, and that it doesn't make sense for me to have everything connected in Central Control. So we can also have a deviation between the two in projects. You can load them, save them, and rename it. There are some variables that you can set. So these are all global variables that you can set. We're not going to touch about that today. And then next to that, we have, of course, have the possibility to activate or deactivate the license that you have right here. So that is roughly it. If I click on About, I think that you will see my license key, so I'm not going to show that. But this is roughly it. It's only uses 2% of CPU. It states right here. So it's quite, or this is the available to CPU. So that's roughly what we see right here. So it's quite easy setup right there. Let me see if there are some comments right here before I've to see if everybody is onboarded. MT says, "Oh, let me. Oh, just some wind is ramping up. Hope it will be cool soon. Oh yeah, we're talking about that. You can find Central Control here at centralcontrol.io. Thank you so much, MT, for that. And is a Russian kettle for tea. Nice. Okay, cool. All right, so everybody is back, and there's nobody that cannot see it. So let me know if it's readable. Let me know if you have any issues. I will try to help you as much as I can, okay? All right, so let's start to add a device right here. So I'm adding a device right here by clicking it, and this window is displayed, and here you have a pull-down menu with a plethora of different functionalities that you have at your disposal. Let me show that right there. So they're alphabetically on brand. So for example, it starts with AJA, but then it goes to Akai, then it goes to Behringer, Blackmagic, Central Control itself. So there are a plethora of different topics with Central Control itself. Contour, Elgato, of course the Streamdecks are there. Then you've got some generic stuff that you can use. HDR graphics is part of it as well. We're definitely going to use that, even though it's going to be just a demo at the moment, but we're going to use it anyway. You can add PowerPoint if you'd like. You can also have NDI outputs on this Central Control functionality. New Tech, which is out of my league. OBS itself, of course, if you don't have vMix, then of course you can also use OBS. Today in this video we're going to use a Streamdeck, but I of course you know that I also have X keys. I have a few right behind me. I also love them as well. And then of course you get the possibility to check use the PTZ Optics cameras. Rode, the Rodecaster Pro, maybe you have that. You can use that as well. vMix is called Studio Coast vMix, which is indeed the case. Stage Timer IO, if you'd like, and it goes, and the list goes on and on and on. And for example, I also see Vimeo live stream, so even that application is still there to use. So let's start with adding the first one, which is gonna be, of course, well, let's just go with Blackmagic Design. So I'm gonna add an ATEM. Boom, right there. So the ATEM that I have behind me, which you cannot see on this shot, but you do see that on this shot, is right here, right? So what we're gonna do is that I'm gonna show you that I can connect to this Blackmagic, and I can just switch to another input. So that's what we're going to show you right now. So this is going to be like an intro video, keeping it very simple for everybody to understand what's going on. At the later show, and maybe 2-3 weeks from now, we're going to make it again a little bit more complex. And then the last video on Central Control will be going fully automation, because I want to automate the hell of this show, so that I can look at this screen and look at you and help you out. Okay, so that's the reason why. All right, so let's go back to this, and again, that ATEM is right there. Then we just click here. So we have selected the ATEM. You can give it a name, for example, ATEM Mini Pro, which is the one that I have in front of, which I have right there. It's a Mini Pro. I can click on that. So now that is the name, ATEM Mini Pro. It states right here. It's a little bit small, but that's what it states. And then it says here, ATEM Mini Pro, Blackmagic Design, ATEM interface with ATEM production switchers. And then this is the IP address. And how does it know this IP address? Well, this is the standard IP address that, you know, it comes with Blackmagic Design. Unfortunately for me, that is not correct. So I just changed it to the IP address that the system actually has, which is 192.168.100.62. That's exactly where that switcher is right there. And let me know if you don't know how to do that, but basically that's going into the ATEM software on your laptop or on your PC, and then just go into the setup utility, and that's where you can find the IP address of the system. So that's the way that you can do it. Now, yeah, I can already start to add triggers and that kind of stuff, but it is not connected, as you can see. So I will now hit this icon right here, and it then states automatically Central Control ATEM Mini Pro enabled. So now the Central Control application now has direct access to the ATEM Mini. It cannot do anything yet, but it has already the connection. Now, as you can see here, you see controls, triggers, and the ATEM super source configuration. Now, the ATEM Mini Pro does not have super source, so that's the reason why this update is blank, because it does not allow for super source connectivity. If I would add my Mini Extreme, then that would work, and maybe if we have some time left, we can definitely try that out. So that is that. And then if you go into triggers, you have the possibility to, you know, see all kind of triggers on the ATEM Mini Pro. So program row changed. So that is, so for people that do not know, even though that the ATEM only comes with one row, which is the red row right there, you can actually set it up to have a program and preview bus, which means that if you have a program preview bus, if you select, for example, camera 3 and camera 1 is live, then camera 1 is red and camera 3 is green. And once you hit cut or auto, it will then switch to that specific channel. So that's really beautiful. If you want to, for example, have a crossfade, then that's really handy. If you don't want to have that and you want to have a direct access, then just use the program row. So at the moment, the ATEM Mini, as I have selected right there, I believe, yes, correct. So that this is just a program row right here and nothing else than that. So I'm not going to be bothered at the moment with the preview row, but when I'm on location and I have a big show, I will always go via the preview row so that I'm 100% sure that I want to connect to want to go to a input or a camera, and then I'll just go to that camera. You can go to on air and off air. You can put a DSK on air and out. So the source on air means that literally that the ATEM is actually acting as a streaming engine, and it will automatically stream to, for example, YouTube or Facebook or whatever. And the DSK is actually a overlay. It's, for example, a logo that you want to add. All right. And then these are all kinds of different functionalities that you have. So audio follow video, auto DSK. So that means that that if you move to a different program for camera 2, for example, it will automatically show you the logo. Otherwise, not. You can execute a macro that you've predefined. You can go fade to black, of course. You can select the media player, which the system has, and and of course it does not have super source, but that's also a feasibility that you have there. You can also start and stop recording, which is available on the ATEM Mini Pro, and you can just hit take, which is basically just cut to that particular unit. So there's a lot of functionality right here available to you, and you don't see what I'm doing. Sorry, I will go back. So again, sorry, wrong. So again, what I wanted to say was that the super source does not work. That's what I just mentioned. And the triggers you can see right here. So again, program row, preview row, source on air, and here you got all of the functionalities that I just briefly touched upon. And excuse me for not showing you the correct video source right there. Anyway, that's roughly it for this. I'm gonna leave it as is, because now I want to add my Streamdeck that I have in front of me, and that Streamdeck is still 100% empty. So there's no the software is not enabled on the system. I'm going to show you with a camera what it looks like again, just for the sake of it. So that's the Stream Deck. It's all empty. There's nothing working at the moment. And of course, once we're done, you will see something happening on that screen. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add camera 1 and camera 2 so that you can see that those two are connected. So in order to do that, I'm going to add an additional device. So we also already had the ATEM Mini Pro, but now I'm going to add the Stream Deck. So now we're going to go into the add device. Let me get it all the way to the top and search for Elgato Stream Deck Plus. So as you can see, you have all Stream Decks here: Stream Deck, Mini, Paddle, Plus, XL. But today we're going to use the Plus. It has the name Stream Deck Plus. Maybe I want to make it easier on myself. Just change it to Plus. Hit OK. And this is where you need to set up how the Stream Deck acts. So I can now say I want to use the Stream Deck Plus right here. That's all okay. The brightness can be changed to high, low, whatever. Maximum. So that is the display. And basically all that I now need to do is hit this and boom, it is now connected to central control, but I don't see anything. So the only thing what happened now is that where it's used to state Elgato in that the middle section, that is now gone. So it's totally black, nothing to see at the moment. All right. So now let's go into this right here. Right? So you have the controls and set button feedback. Let's start with controls. So right here we're hitting control. And this is all of the buttons that you have in front of me. So I already told you that I have 8 physical buttons. Then I've got an encoder, push one, a strip button. So the strip button was the center part, where you can also have multiple buttons available. So you've got the encoder push, you got the button, etc. So you have a lot of different functionalities available. So let's go into button 1. And for button 1, I want to change on the ATEM camera to camera 1. So that's basically it. I want to make camera 1 active. Now, how do I do that? I want to go to the program row, set program row, and the ME number is definitely 1. I only have 1 ME on the ATEM Mini Pro, and I'm going to select camera 1 for this. So these are all the cameras that I have available for that ATEM Mini Pro. So this is something that the application, the central control application, gets from the ATEM. But I have to admit one thing is that you do need to install the ATEM software on this Windows box. Otherwise, it will not be able to do this, it seems. So let's go to camera 1, and then let's keep it like that. And then I want to set the button feedback for button 1 to state cam 1. So cam 1. And now on the screen, I do see that it actually states camera 1. So I want to have a different default. I want to make it nice and purple because I love purple. And if it's on, this is beautiful. I like it. Okay, what do I see on my screen? Let me show that quickly. So now please come. For some reason it's not updating. Let me see if I can get it to work. Maybe just use it again. NDI. Let's go here. Boom. All right. It'll come. All right. Okay, so now you see here, we actually have now a camera 1 button right there. So that is what we just created right there, a camera 1 button, and this is what it looks like. So I'll keep my phone now running. And okay, so let's see if this is working. So let's go ahead and go back to the screen right here. Let's put it on camera 3. And if I now hit camera 1, it is pushing something, but it's not working. So something is wrong, which is a bit of a shame. So let's see what we can do to get that fixed. So it did pop up the control. It did show that it was controlling something. So let's see what we did wrong. I think that I know what I did wrong. So one thing that I typically do wrong on this is right here, is that I need to don't forget to push things up. So let me go to the program row right here. Again, select camera 1, and very important to hit this plus sign right here. Boom. Now it is connected right there. So that is what it needed. So for the sake of it, let's make the button 2 as well. Push that to camera 2 and add that as well. You can also do a quick assign, but for now I'm not going to do that. So let's make the set button feedback right here, and also make button 2 purple, and make it cam 2. So now I have 2 buttons in front of me that are purple, and it should now be working, because now I'm pretty sure that I did it correctly. So this is camera 2, and now camera 2 becomes blue for me, which is quite interesting. So I'll show that to you. So here you go. So camera 2 just became blue to me, and if I then hit camera 1, then camera 1 becomes blue. And you can also see that right here next to me, that this is now changed to camera 1. This is camera 2. This is camera 1. It's 1, 2, 1, 2. That's all I needed to do. So that is how easy it is to do this part on the ATEM Mini. All right, let me see what we have here. Let me go back. For my understanding, the ATEM software has to run on the same PCs together with central control, right? It looks like it, to be honest, because at the earlier today I tried it out, because of course I did some homework up front. What happened was that it actually stated that it could not connect to the ATEM Mini Pro based on the IP address, because the software was not installed on this Windows computer. Now I have to admit that I needed to install it anyway on this computer, but I would have loved it more than that it was not needed. But it is something to take into account, that software needs to be installed, it seems. On TV channel says, good evening all, looking forward to this CC. Indeed, welcome John, I really appreciate you for taking the time. There you go, boom. Well, I think that we've successfully now looked at it, and we can now see that we can actually use 2 buttons to switch between ATEM software, right? Well, let's do the same for vMix, because we also need to have vMix there. Again, today is going to be very straightforward, simple, also taking the time for people that are new to it, like I was a couple of months ago. I will show you how things go. So again, ATEM Mini Pro we've added, and the Plus, which is the Streamdeck Plus, we also added, and that's the one that I have in front of me right there. Right. Okay, let's hit add device again, and this time around I want to add vMix. Now, vMix is not called vMix, it's called something with an S. It's called StudioCast vMix. If I click on StudioCast vMix, boom, it will automatically state vMix. I want to have vMix indeed added. controls, you've got triggers, and this is the IP address that it comes standard with, 192.168.1.1, which is not correct. So I'll just add 100, and I believe that my computer is on 208. Let me quickly check that. So I'm using ipconfig to do that, and it is indeed 102.08. The port is standardized 8099. Refresh rate fast. I think that is fine. Let's keep it that way, and let's hook it up. Boom. So now it is connected to my computer, right? So now it can actually handle this. All right, so I actually have now two. Let me show you what it looks like. So I actually have now two displays right here. So here you go. So this is what I see right here. So this is the vMix system, and then if I go into the display 2, that's where you are. So I will be going back and forth between the two. But what do I want to do for this test? Is that on the vMix system, I want to have a button that actually shows the main screen, and I want to have a button for input number 4, which is the main PC. So the main camera, I mean, on channel 1 or input 1, and on input 6, I have the main camera. 1 and 6. That's what I need. I think that I said 4 just now, but it's 1 and 6. All right. So we've got controls and we've got triggers. So the controls are, in my opinion, you don't really need to do a lot here, but you can see that there's a lot of functionality that you have in front of you right here. But to make it easier on ourselves, let's go directly to the plus again. Go into control, and this time around I want to add button 3, and button 3 is gonna be, or maybe I should take button 5 to go to the second row on the Streamdeck, and button 5 is going to go to vMix. So now I'm selecting here not ATEM Mini Pro but vMix right here. And I want to cut direct to input number 1. Input number 1 is the main camera. So that's what we're going to do on 5. And of course, we don't want to forget to hit this plus button. So now it's cutting directly to input 1. And button 6 is also cut direct. But now it's not input 1, but it is 6. So let's hit the plus sign right there. It's input 6, and we're going to hit that one right there. So now we got 5 and 6 available, but we also need to make it pretty so that we know that we need to do that something with that. So this is going to be 5, and this is going to be a different color. So let's make it blue. No, that's not a good color. Let's make it yellow. And then we're gonna make this main, as in the main camera. And button 6 is gonna be also yellow, and this is gonna be, if it lets me. There it goes. PC. So that's the PC screen. So now, if I'm not mistaken, I can now switch between the two. I'm literally doing that on the Stream Deck. So yeah, let's show it to you how it looks like here on the screen. Boom. So if I now hit main right here, I will go to the main, and then after that I'm going to go to PC. So that's main, and that is PC right there. So that is as easy as you can have it. And of course, you have multiple functionalities right there. It's not only changing that, but again, we keep it as simple as possible for today. Empty says, I did label all my production gear who has a network connection with its IP address. Yes, that's a good idea. That's a very good idea. Absolutely, always do that. Now we have the 8 Mini Pro, we've got Plus, we've got vMix. Maybe we should also add H2R graphics to the mix. Now, of course, this is a starting point for more to go. So I'm gonna again create one button on H2R graphics, actually two, one to enable, one to disable, and then I think that we have quite a lot already done. So let's go ahead and do that as well. Add this. Oh, let's start H2R graphics just for the sake of it. So H2R graphics. And I'm going to go with the standard demo version, which we have right here. So here you've got the control room. And in the control room software, you see here A, B, C, D. And that is basically the project name that we need to use later. So if I hit on control room, I get this box right here. Let me remove this. So the down below here on the bottom, the bottom part of the green screen is actually the one that we need to look at in just a bit. And then let's do this. And what I want to do is that I want to just have like a hello world, like so. I think that is enough. So let's do that. So ticker, or maybe the time of day, or the message body. Well, what can we do? Well, I think that the hello world is very obvious, so let's do that one. Gonna make sure that it's removed here, so that all is well now. And let's go ahead and add H2R graphics. So again, let's go down to H2R graphics. Boom. Let's hit OK. And again, my PC is 100.208. And everything else is going to be, oh, sorry for that. It's going to be straightforward. So let's activate this. Enter a valid project. This is really cool. So you can actually see that I've made a mistake. I actually add the project ID, which is ABCD. So let's hit that in ABCD right there, and then I hit graphics, and now it's enabled, and now I can actually start to use it. How? By again fixing it with the Streamdeck Plus. Hit controls again. Let's go to button 3 and 4 and 8. So 4 will be enable something, and 8 will be disable something. And then we're gonna hit button 4, and this is gonna enable H2R graphics. Boom. It's gonna show a graphic from a section, and this is where you'll see all kinds of names: time, ticker, message, section, lower third, map. And this corresponds with what you see right here. So if here you see a very small text: time, ticker, message, lower third, map. And that same thing you can see right here. So let me make sure that both is on the screen so that you have a good idea. So let me put it right there, and let me put this one right beside it, like so. And this is, oh, that's not gonna work. Okay, well, that was a bit too bad, but here you go: timer, ticker, message, lower third, map. Okay, so I want to hit the message button right here, and I of course then want to see that popping up, right? That's what we want to see. So we don't want to set it on preview, this because this is of course only preview. We actually want to push it to the output, which is this part right here. Again, this is something that we're doing for the demo purposes. So let's go ahead and say that we want to go with message. This one right here, message. So that's the show graphics. We're going to add it. And then, of course, we want to also on 8. Oh, maybe we can also toggle it. We'll do that later. It might also work with toggle, so let's do that later. So we now say hide graphics. Again, we're going to hide the message. And we're going to hit plus. And now we can use those two buttons on the plus right here to set button feedback right here. Then go to 4. Make this a different color again, green for example. Make this message. And then 8, also green. And I say message off. Mess off. And now indeed it will add that on the Streamdeck again. I'll show you in just a bit. And let's see if it already works. So I now hit the message button. 3, 2, 1, go. So now you see the message button going on the Streamdeck, and message off will remove it from this bar. Now I am not 100% sure, so let's see if we can also toggle it, because why should I use a lot of real estate, control real estate? So let's see if we can remove this one right here. So I'm gonna remove 8. I also need to remove 8 from the other one. So I'll do that here as well. So now this one is also back to, oh, I can also hit clear, it seems. So there you go. And let's focus on the message one, controls, and then change the number 4 to not show graphics, but to, go to graphics again, and then say toggle graphics. And of course, we want to add that on message. So I'm going to hit plus. You now can also see that you can actually stack comments as well. But for now, we're not going to do that. So I'm going to remove that. And now let's see what happens if I do that. My gut feeling says it's going to work, but I'm not sure. So let's hit this button right here. It will show the message. Let's hit the same button again, and it will remove it. Sweet. So one button to rule them all. And that's all connected now, right? So you've got your ATEM, you've got your vMix, you've got your H2R graphics, all connected to this system just by using central control right here. Let me see if there are so many questions. I see Tarek is in the house. The question that he has, let me go to full screen so I can also do this. Does it have default layout profile buttons for vMix and ATEM, or we have to create our own buttons depending on our needs? It does, I believe, not have a default layout. There are some buttons that you can use. So it has predefined graphics that you can also use as well. But I've not seen, well, I'm not 100% sure, but I have not seen that it can actually do that. So let me remove your comment. So if I go to the plus and I go to set button feedback, I can, if I would like, on button 4, I can say I don't want to have a message, but I want to add an image. So for example, I can use, for example, one of these built-in images that are available. But it doesn't have to be one of these. It can also be from other locations. For example, Paul Dixon, who's one of our members as well, who's also occasionally here. He also created really good Streamdeck buttons, which I cannot find at the moment. But here you go. So, for example, here you have all kinds of green buttons that he has created. So that's also functionality that you have. For example, now I want to make this number 6 for one reason or the other, and then it will also show as number 6 on that Streamdeck. So that's also functionality what you have right there. It does not have a layout, unfortunately. MT says, but it might have some in stock. Maybe Petra will have a look at it. Yeah, so indeed, like, well, I think that I just said that without even seeing your comment, MT. So I hope that was at least clear enough. All right. Yeah. So this is roughly what so this is a first setup that we've done. So A10 Mini Pro Plus vMix graphics, etc., etc. Now, this is just setting up some buttons, and in the next video, because we're already 50 minutes in, I want to go further with this. I'm not going to touch this. Well, let me rephrase that. I will make sure that everything will be put back to the way that it is at the moment, so that we're all aligned for the next video. But what I want to do in the next video is that I want you to go with you through a few really cool things that are also possible. So this is going to be a bit of a promotion for the next video. That is, you can actually have a rundown functionality at your disposal, and it will allow you to set timing, real world times to do something. So for example, I want to go live at 7 p.m. Central European time, so that's 15 minutes ago. But if now, let's say 8 p.m. in this particular moment, I can set things up right here in this rundown functionality that at 8 p.m. sharp, it will do something. For example, starting my timer. So that's something that I want to work on next time. But that's not all. I want to go a little bit further than that. So I'm going to remove this because we're going to do that next time. Boom. And what we're also going to do next time is that I want to work with you with flex macros. What are flex macros? Well, this is extremely cool. So let's go ahead and enable this system and say flex macros. I'll just very briefly show you what it looks like. New macro, and now I can hit edit. And what I see here is a timeline, just like a video editor. And I can actually here see my A10 Mini, my Plus, my vMix, my graphics, etc. So now what I can do, I can actually say, for example, I want to, what is it, cut or take? Input. Let me see. So I can play an input, for example, boom. And I can actually state what I wanted to do. I want to play BD, not BD main, no. I want it to play the countdown timer, for example. And I can just literally go here and say, start stream. That is my really start stream system. So then once I hit the play button right here, it will automatically start the stream, for example. But I can also say later I want to add an overlay. For example, later I can do that, for example, here. I can make it longer. I can move it from left to right. So this is extremely interesting to make sure that the whole automation is going as smooth as possible. But that is something for a later time. So I'm going to remove this one again because I want you to be part of the whole thing. And not rename. I want to delete it. Yes. So I'm going to delete this one as well because, like I said, so next time, this is the starting point of the show again. And I can then move back to this video right here. So I can help you there. What did you think about it so far? I tried to keep it as low profile as possible for the first time so that people that are just joining at least have a video that is really simple, straightforward, nothing big at the moment. Let me see if Eric he has a comment. I can't remember now, but did Joe say that there were delays timings that you can set between actions in the stack for a button? I think that he said that, yes. So let's try to figure that out next time. All right, so again, tried to make this video as easy as possible. Next week, or sorry, maybe not next week, but in 2 weeks' time or so, we can continue this setup, and let's see how we can continue this. I hope that you liked it. I did definitely like this setup. I think it's always cool to try things new, and this is one of the things that I actually have a use case for, not only from the perspective of TechCondo, which I will be using this for TechCondo moving forward, but I will also be using this for my live stream setup. Anyway, that's all the time that I have for you today. If there are any questions for next time, please go ahead and write them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and let's see what we can do in 2 weeks from now. So next week we're going to do something else, but we will be coming back to this central control and hopefully have a really cool setup in 2 weeks from now, with some more automation, some more timing, and maybe a proper rundown. How cool would that be, right? So I hope that was very good for you. At least I do see that this is a good introduction for the software. Thank you. Well, Turek, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. All right, that's all that I had time for you for today, and I hope to see you the next time. Bye-bye.